At the completion of this video, you will know where each Lean tool fits into specific clauses of ISO 9001, where each Lean cultural element fits into specific clauses of ISO 9001.
Hi, I'm Mike Micklewright. In the first training session, we discussed the similarities between Lean and an ISO 9001 based business management system at the highest level, the principles. In the second training session, we discussed business practices and culture that support the principles of Lean and a business management system. In this video, we will discuss the tools of Lean and how they should be integrated into a business management system. Refer to the pyramid that we showed you before. Now, to recap, why is this important? Why are we integrating Lean into a business management system? Well, first of all, we said it would help to sustain our Lean improvements. One of the most difficult parts of doing Lean is to sustain the improvements. A business management system can massively help to do that. Then we also said that we wanted to tie in all the Lean tools and the elements into a single system. You might say a Lean management system, but the generic term is a business management system. Thirdly, we also said that we wanted to add spark to the credibility of a ISO-based business management system and make it more of a value-added service, a value-adding service to the entire organization, so that it is perceived as something that is truly driving improvements throughout the organization. And also, we want to eliminate the waste in two competing systems and two competing organizations or departments within an organization. Isn't it ironic how you have two organizations or two departments, Lean and Quality, and they're both really there to try to do the same thing, and yet they compete for resources. And the irony is that they're both about improving quality of business processes and getting rid of the waste, and yet they're wasteful in themselves in that they both exist. I did struggle on the decision of how to present this particular training session to you. You know, I thought, should I show you the ISO clause first and then the Lean tool that relates to it, or should I discuss the Lean tool first and show you where it belongs in an ISO-based business management system? So I decided on the second alternative, since we've been primarily talking thus far about how Lean should fit into a business management system and not vice versa. So we need to show you the relationship between the Lean tools that we all hear of and we know of so well, and how it fits into a business management system. So let's start at the top. One of the big picture items, Hoshin Kanri, or Hoshin Kanri planning. What is Hoshin Kanri? Well, first of all, it's a step-by-step planning, implementation, and review process for managed change. It is a systems approach to the management of change in critical business processes. Did you notice the reference to a systems approach to management of change? That's one of the key principles of ISO 9001 that we discussed previously. So what does Hoshin Kanri really mean? Well, Ho means method or form, and Shin means compass. Kanri, on the other hand, means management or control. If we bring it all together, it means a methodology for strategic direction setting. In a way, you might say it sounds a little boring, a little dull, one of those American terms that we use. But Hoshin Kanri sounds so much more interesting and exotic. In a way, it's kind of interesting how we use Japanese words when we have perfectly good English words. You might even consider it wasteful. But I digress. So, where did Hoshin Kanri come from? It came from Japan. It's based on the Plan, Do, Check, Act model of continuous improvement. And it's also used to communicate company policy to everyone in the organization. And it focuses our activities on the key things necessary for success. Remember these definitions, because we're going to go through and talk about the ISO elements that relate to this. Okay, what else is Hoshin Kanri about? It allows us to move beyond the status quo of where we currently stand to make major performance improvements in the organization. It also provides a way or a methodology to cascade down or deploy our management policies and our targets throughout the whole management hierarchy. And at each level within the hierarchy, the policy is translated into targets and actions for the next level down, so everyone knows what they should be doing and how it relates to the overall strategy. And finally, it ensures that everyone is aware of the overall vision and the targets. Vision, you might say, is our future state of the business and how these are translated into specific requirements. Now, how does this relate to ISO 9001? Does it relate to ISO 9001? It absolutely does. So take, for example, section 5.3 of ISO 9001, which starts off by saying top management shall ensure that the business policy. Now wait, I have to clarify something. It would normally say top management shall ensure that the quality policy, but because we're involving lean and we're bringing lean into the system, we want to make it all more inclusive and call it a business policy. So I have substituted the word business where quality would normally be, and you'll see that as we go forward. Okay, so back to where we were. Top management shall ensure that the business policy provides a framework for establishing and reviewing business objectives and is communicated and understood within the organization. Now, if you remember the definition of Hoshin Kanri, this fits perfectly. This is exactly the same thing as Hoshin Kanri. All right, how about another section of ISO 9001? 5.4.1. Top management shall ensure that the business objectives, including those needed to meet the requirements for product, are established at relevant levels within the organization. Remember, cascading down to relevant levels within the organization? That's what Hoshin Kanri is about. The business objectives shall be measurable and consistent with the business policy. And that's what we do. We cascade down to our targets, which are measurable objectives. Hoshin Kanri fits perfectly with this. Another section of ISO 9001. Top management shall ensure that appropriate communication processes are established within the organization, and you may recall that that's one of the key features of Hoshin Kanri. There's actually a few more elements of ISO 9001 that support Hoshin Kanri that we won't review in this case, but I think you get the picture that Hoshin Kanri fits in very well with a true business management system. Okay, so that's one area. Let's take another tool. Let's take something like value stream mapping.